The theme of this segment is we're putting the band back together. Steve Kenyon alongside my friend Anthony Russo. This weekend on Saturday at the American Paradise Ranch, Paradise, Texas, the Nobody Fights Alone barrel race. It is a benefit for the Multiple Myeloma Foundation, being produced by Tammy Kidd and Wild West Promotions. Anthony, how are you, my brother?
Living the dream. I'm doing quite well. I missed your face. Good to see you and that always fantastic mustache.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Has the beard grown a little since the last? I don't.
Yeah, I'm going full tilt. I said, you know what? Let's just go. Let's get into it and let's just show how manly a beard can be.
Okay, there you go. Okay, let's talk about the serious stuff. You are the announcer this weekend for the Nobody Fights Alone barrel race. As I mentioned, it's a benefit for the Multiple Myeloma Foundation. We're sad that Tammy's dad is fighting with a cancer issue right now. This barrel race is being put on, produced, and motivated by that, and she will make a donation at the conclusion of the race. Entries are open right now on the Next Gen app. $6,000 added. They've already got 123 entered. There are Women's Rodeo World Championship side pots. This is going to be a big deal.
Yeah, and it's going to be one of those events that when Tammy puts it on, Wild West Promotions, especially when you've got 6,000 added and you have the entertainment from somebody such as entertaining as it's going to be a great event. But it's got 6,000 added, the best ground guys in the business. You got Clint Watson, TJ Self, both of which I've worked with. I actually did a whole ground video with TJ Self talking about the Stephenville Rodeo. So you've got the best in the business there. There's also a lot of different things going on to raise awareness and also raise money for the Multiple Myeloma Foundation. I know Tammy was asking if anybody wanted to add to the silent auction, which I'll also add to the silent auction. So I'll have my book and also an hour of free performance coaching. So wow. That'll be part of it. But there's a whole bunch of stuff on that. There's a bunch of different things to do. The buckle, Tammy does the buckles right. There's also a lot of different sponsors that are helping out with this event. I'll be rocking my pro hats, cowboy hat, one of the sponsors for Next Gen and all the stuff that they do. But in all reality, when you've got great ground, you've got a great location in Paradise, and you've got a lot of people wanting to be a part of something bigger, you can't beat an event like that.
Yeah, and Tammy is maybe the premier barrel racing producer we've got in this part of the world. And so you've got that expertise and knowledge going into it too.
Yeah, and it's funny, like you always hear of like, well, this event did this event did that. The great thing about Tammy on top of the ground is there's such a level of consistency with Wild West Promotions. You always know what you're going to get. It's like, I'm going to give an analogy, Steve. It's the Ruth Chris of barrel races. It's not that local fancy steakhouse, but whatever Ruth Chris steakhouse you go to in the country, it's going to be consistent, it's going to be quality, and you're going to leave there going, I definitely am not disappointed. That was great.
Yeah, well, now you know who the big money guy is in this conversation, the guy that's talking about the Ruth Chris. Tell me about tell me what you've been up to. Tell me what you've been doing. I know we want to talk about barrel racing, but I want to talk about just real quick, tell me about all the stuff that you have been focusing on over the last couple of months. Anthony is a man of many, many virtues and many, many parts, whether it's working on Fox college football telecasts or the stuff that he's done with Next Gen or coaching or you got a lot of irons in the fire, my friend.
Yeah, I'm pretty busy. Well, a lot of people know Kelly Allen's my 4-year girlfriend, and we're in the process of moving to a new area. We, of course, have dealt with some sick horses. That's part of obviously being in the horse world. But I also have had a really blessed last year with Fox College Football, doing some work with Next Gen. And then I just got done on Bourbon Street doing the activation for Super Bowl, which was absolutely wild. It'll never be done again. Try to bring in the technology that goes behind one of those multi-million-dollar programs with all the stars that are on the show with 200-year-old buildings. It was an absolute nightmare for production. I just got to be the entertainment behind it, but it was an absolute blast. And then I've got Final Four stuff coming up. I just did a keynote this last week on the power of using your voice. I've been really busy doing some speaking stuff, and I've got a lot of barrel races coming up as well. With Tammy, I'll also be doing the cowgirl gathering, I think in April.
Yeah, that's a big deal. That is a really big deal. These events are big deals. We kind of brought you into this Western world to be honest,
Oh yeah.
Anthony, the last 4 or 5 years. I blame or credit whichever is correct, Kelly, for all of that. But we've really kind of given you a whole taste of this slice of life, and I think you're falling in love with it.
Oh, absolutely. It's interesting. I tell people the story of kind of like the like even when I started working with Cowboy Channel, the brief time that I was there, and I start talking about all the different rodeo disciplines. And really, at the time when I started with Cowboy Channel, all I knew was barrel racing. I love going to barrel races. I love following Kelly, and then I had to learn all the other stuff. And truly, like I have a deep, deep, intense passion for everything having to do with the sport, because it truly is like one of the few places that you can have nostalgia, true Americana, and absolutely like just the bonding and fellowship that just doesn't happen, and the ability to like be Christian and let people know you're Christian. The prayers beforehand. There's nothing better than anything from a barrel race where you're doing something like we're about to be doing, raising awareness for somebody in the community for something that is obviously very serious. And then at the same time, just being a part of something just bigger, which is the sport of rodeo and barrel racing. And I love watching people come together for what happened in San Antonio. I think everybody knows about the ground in San Antonio, and actually people having each other's backs finally in barrel racing to the point where they were able to correct the ground on the second night of the semifinals and actually make a difference. And it's like, there's a lot of growth in the sport. There's a lot of growth in the camaraderie. And I love being a part of something like that. We live in a modern world that in a lot of ways sucks. And this world specifically doesn't.
I just did a podcast with Megan McLeod Sprague, and we talked a lot about that ground situation, and she's got some really interesting thoughts about, yeah, there was a problem, but hats off to San Antonio for doing what needed to be done to fix it. You will not have a ground situation. To see what I did there at the American Paradise Ranch in Paradise, Texas. This is Saturday, March the 1st. There are already 123 pre-entered, and the entries are open right now in the Next Gen app. But these kinds of events, Anthony, they bring people together. And that's, Tammy has got a lot of friends in this industry, and knowing that she's doing this for a cause that is going to be awfully important to her and her family, I think, for years to come, is a big deal.
Yeah, and we look at cancer now, and everybody has been touched by it one way or another. Multiple myeloma is a bad one, and it's something that affects the whole body, the bones, the blood work. So it's something that he's fighting. He's tough as nails. I know Tammy; she's tough as nails. She had to get it from someplace. And I just gotta, when you put together something like this and people come around, and 123, 125 pre-entries already now, knowing how good the weather is going to be this weekend, it's going to be a big, big event. So I think we're going to see a huge turnout. It'll keep me busy throughout the day. And obviously it's a serious event. I'll keep it light with a little bit of humor, but obviously in the beginning and throughout, make announcements on exactly what's going on and why people are there and how they can also help and donate to that foundation as well.
Have you been to the ranch? Have you been to American Paradise?
I've been there once, I believe. I've been one
cool.
time. I've been.
I think I've only been there once, and it is really a nice facility.
Yeah, I've heard what I've heard about it. Ground is always very consistent, especially when you have good ground guys. I've heard there's a good space for everything. I've seen that we've done videos there because I know we have a weekly thing that goes during during more of the busy season. But I've never heard anybody complain about Paradise Ranch, which is a really, really good thing. So there's clearly plenty of room because you've got, obviously we've got the picture vendor with Shoop Shots. You've got H&M Barbecue, Silent Auction, like I said, and the typical buckles. And I know there's some other vendors as well that she brought up in her video with you a couple days ago. But yeah, it's a good venue. It's out, it's a good venue and you don't hear complaints about it.
Yeah. that's point. Usually the really good point. Yeah. The Nobody Fights Alone barrel race, April 25th through, that's this coming Saturday, March the 1st at the American Paradise Ranch in Paradise, Texas. And then you mentioned the Cowgirl Gathering, Anthony. I brought up the website real quick. That's April 25th through May 11th in Fort Worth, Texas. An awful lot of that takes place at the Cowtown Coliseum. So you'll be right next door. So we need to do lunch or something.
Actually, I believe as though this year it's going to 377. It should be moving to Stephenville, I think, from what I understand. It has been it's shifting over to 377, I believe, from what I understand.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
We'll double check on all of that. I'll tell you what, we will do another one of these before the Cowgirl Gathering. How's that sound?
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Perfect.
And give you some updates. Yeah, it's funny, like you and I, we were talking so much, including around the NFR, and then I think it's all of a sudden we're about to be in March, and I don't know what happened to the first 2 months of this year. But we gotta talk some more. I want you to come on one of my speaking workshops. It's free.
Oh.
It's Wednesday nights. It's fun. We do we do quotes. It's like Toastmasters on steroids. You can join me on. It's a lot of fun. Good little community that we've built.
Sounds like fun. Let me know when and where. So yeah, it sounds
good.
like fun. What else do we need to know about the Nobody Fights Alone barrel race this weekend, Anthony?
I'm trying to bring up all the let's see. I was trying to bring up all the different sponsors that we've got going on. So stick around. Hold on. Let me make sure, because I know Jamie was helping me out as well with what we needed to discuss. Jamie brought up
Classic Equine, Alkali Equine, Ideal Flooring and Design, Purina.
There they are.
Yeah. Double X.
Yeah, that's right. Ranch Dressing, Tactical, the people that always help out with a lot of the Next Gen and Wild West promotion events. Rafter Septic, Horton Tree Service, Ideal Flooring, like you said. Carly Otero, Barrel, all the different things. Classic Equine. Yeah, it'll be a fun event. So when you've got that many sponsors, that many people, this time of year to have a $6,000 added event that's also benefiting a organization like Multiple Myeloma, it's going to be fun. Join us there. Have a good time. If you got nothing to do this weekend and you've got horses that are just been sitting up in the cold, come on out.
If you're not entered, the entries are open right now on the Next Gen app, and you can just go there and get all the pertinent information, all the details. Anthony, it's a pleasure. Let me know when you're close by, and let me know when you want me to come do some stuff with you, and I'm all over it.
All right. Sounds like a plan. See, always good talking to you.
Thanks, Anthony. Anthony Russo joining us. Entries for the Nobody Fights Alone barrel race this weekend, American Paradise Ranch, Paradise, Texas, Saturday, March 1st, right now on the Next Gen Rodeo app.